to, there he is, Carsten.
Hello, hello. I hope you can hear me.
Loud and clear.
Loud and clear.
Loud
That's
and
beautiful.
clear. Wonderful. Well, nice meeting you all here. I'm possibly not the target audience since I'm playing the Dario, for 25 years-ish.
Oh,
thank you.
And I'm stuck to it. Still, I'd gone to try out new things, and after a while, you need some more inspiration. Background, mainly acoustics, D35 and some Taylors. As I said, EXP12 for 20 plus years. Mainly Americana, flat picking, the usual stuff. Looking for not too brassy, that's hence EXP12. Round sound, mainly home studio, pub environments. And as I said, EXP12 for 20 plus years. What other alternatives are there? I tried Ernie Ball, Earthbound, or whatever they've been called. No, not really. Martin, I actually like Martin, the coated things, but they need about 6 weeks until they settle in and sound nice to my ears, which I don't want to waste time. So something between that. So enlighten me.
Yeah, let me have you out. So that you're telling me you used our EXP string series for a long time. First of all, thank you for that. We actually discontinued the EXP series because we do a new coded version. So we actually do 2 different types of codings right now. As you see, if you like, I can show you. Like for acoustic, we have this one, and like this one. These are both our coded versions. So the black one is more like what you're used to with the EXP strings. So what we did in the past is we take if you have a string, you have the string core, and you have the wrap wire going around it for the low strings. So what we do with the XTs is we code the material first and then wrap the wire around the string. So the material itself, it's protected. It lasts about 3 times longer than a regular set. And you won't feel any difference between an uncoded and a coded set. Because a lot of players told us in the past, I like the longevity of a coded set, but it changes feel and sound a little bit. And especially like people that played for a long time and are used to uncoded strings their whole life, they don't want to get used to a new set of strings or a new feel. So that would be one option. The other one, which is quite new, is the XS series. So in this case, we code the whole string with a film coding. It goes around. You have to imagine like an extra winding around the string, but this is made of a polymer. So it keeps away all the humidity from your string. Nothing can go inside the windings, and it actually, in terms of lifetime, it actually lasts 5 to 6 times longer than a regular set. So for lifetime, that's the best you can have. If you play Taylors, actually, just Taylor announced just short ago that they're using the Dario XS strings for their guitars in the future. So that would definitely be a great fit for you. What material do you play? Do you play phosphor bronze or do you play regular bronze?
I play the EXP12 in phosphor. I don't like regular bronze. Regular bronze is too brassy.
Yeah, that's the thing. It depends on your guitar, but especially if you play like a Taylor, it already is kind of brilliant sounding, right?
And you need more brightness.
Yeah. So for the visitors, maybe as an explanation, 80/20 bronze kind of adds a little bit of brightness to your guitar, whereas 𝗧𝗛𝗡 keeps the same sound through the whole frequency range. So if you don't want to change anything and you want to sound exactly like it's produced, then use 𝗧𝗛𝗡. If you want to enhance a little bit the high end, then use regular bronze. But on a Taylor, they definitely have enough high end already. So 𝗧𝗛𝗡 is a good choice.
I try not to mention other brands, but it seems like with the new white strings, you went to what were they called? Polywrap, like with the whole coating around the string. So does it flake off like your competitor's whole coating, or does it stay?
We do everything in house. So we developed a whole new coating. The technology is quite close to what was already been done, but we took it a step further. So we took a lot of time. Actually, it took us 3 years to develop a material that doesn't fray off when you pick it. So it holds much better. On the same time, it's really thin. So sometimes if you play coated strings, it feels slick, kind of greasy. Some people don't like it. These are the people that would actually probably use like the XTs and like them more because they have a more grippy feel. But in terms of the coating, it's similar, but we took it a step ahead.
What about finger noise with the new coating? Way to reduce that, or is it the same?
Yeah, so finger noise, actually, if you look at the surface of a string, you have these windings, and if you go over it, that's what's creating the finger noise. So if you go over a plain steel string, you won't have any finger noise, right? Mm-hmm. So, and the coating, because of its structure, it kind of flattens out the thing a little bit. So it takes away some of the screeching, which is pretty good for recording. So I would say XS is a perfect string for recording. Because otherwise you have to be kind of really, really detailed with your technique. So
great. Carsten, how's that doing for all your questions and your string worries? What do you think?
More than, thank you. I give those new D'Addarios definitely a try.
Yeah, we will give you a try as a thank you. So what gauge are you playing? So let us... 12 to 53?
3.
So
12 to 53.
Perfect. And I just make a note what we will send you as a thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you.
Thank you, Carsten. There's a private chat on the window that you're currently talking to us right now. If you would be so kind as to drop your email address in there.
Let's see if I find that guest
because we don't want to give your information out on the internet.
Moog
that's
Andy
frowned
Free.
upon.
Okay, well, I don't want to dox myself, so...
No, not yet.
Not yet.
So if you put your information in that chat, can you see it? And for the rest of the people that are also in that backstage area, you should also be able to see that chat when you're on screen. Put your stuff in there, and we can get those strings sent out. Okay, Carsten, there we go. I also have a habit of reading people's email addresses and talking at the same time, so I won't be doing that today. Dominikus, have you got that covered? Have you got that email address noted?
Yes, I noted down.
Hey,
Wonderful.
Carsten, thank you so much for being our first guest. And Dominikus, thanks for helping him out. Carsten, go and change your strings, okay?
Right.
Alrighty.
All right, thanks, mate. Take care.
Bye. You too. Bye.
Bye-bye, ciao. Wow, we had a first guest, Dominikus. It went well. You helped
a lot
him.
of questions.
He will sleep well tonight, for his string troubles are over. Unfortunately, we've got loads of people wanting to join the... Well, not unfortunately, but fortunately, we have loads of people that want to join in. And if you do want to join in watching this, there is a link in the chat. And I will put it in there once more when we get our next guest on. Our next guest is from a band in the UK. His name is Moog, not Bob. And I'm going to set him up as guest number 2 again. And we're going to bring him on and we're going to solve all his string worries. Moog, how you doing?
Hi. I'm very well,
Hello.
thank you. How are you?
Great.
We're all good. We're all good. Live streams are always fun and stressful, but now I think we're on a roll, and that is a beautiful 𝗧𝗛𝗡 behind you on your side. I think we have the same
that
guitar.
one. Yeah, that's my really cheap Affinity, but I like it because it's just pink and sparkly.
I have the same one. I modded the heck out of it, and I put
Yeah,
new
I haven't got
strings
around to
on
doing
it.
that yet. Ah, which
Have you put
strings?
new
Did
strings?
Aria ones, presumably?
It was about 5 years ago, so I should definitely change the strings on that one.
Yeah. No, I haven't really modded anything on that yet. I need to give it a really good going over.
That was the guitar that kicked off my channel, so I unnecessarily modded it just to get views on YouTube, because that's
I remember.
the kind of person
I remember it well.
Can you hear that?
So what guitar are you planning to restring? Do you have multiple guitars?
I do. I'm mainly a Gibson player. I've got my main one is my Les Paul, which is up there. Whoop.
Nice.
I've also got my over that side is my second guitar there. If you can see that one, that's my modified SG, which is designed to look like the one out of Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey, which I painted up myself, which is fun. I'll leave that
cool,
there
and it does.
So I guess my main one really is my Les Paul. I think the biggest thing for me is I don't change them anywhere near as often as I should. So I need a string that lasts. I need a string that's going to kind of let me rock out. The music I play is just real classic rock, early heavy metal. And yeah, so long lasting is really good for me, and just nice and crisp sounding.
So
and I have actually got a pack to try.
I
bought them recently, but I haven't got around to restringing yet. So
actually, like the string package you have there is the Pro Steels. It's like if you compare it with a regular set, like nickel plated steel, it's pure stainless steel wrap wire. And if you know a little bit, like nickel corrodes faster than pure steel. So if you have a pure steel string, it will last longer than like a combination, like a nickel plated steel string. But it's still a metal, so over time it will still be affected by corrosion. So the best thing you can do for lifetime is a coated string set. So I would recommend quite the same, like I did to Carsten. On the Les Paul from the factory, they have the string gauge 10 to 46 normally,
Yep.
because they have like a smaller scale length than like a Stratocaster, for example. So you need a little bit thicker strings. So the standard for this type of scale length would be a 1046. Have you ever played 1046, or do you change gauges?
Do you know, I can't think what my last one is. I kind of flip-flop between 9s and 10s. I'm thinking I'm on a set of 10s at the moment, and I was actually thinking of going back to 9s.
Are you more like a rhythm player or like a lead, or do you play both?
I play both.
Both. So what I actually would recommend in this case, let me check if I have it here. Yeah. So this would be like the coded version. So if I open the package, you can see how the coding is done actually. So you have the string and then the film that goes around it. And in this case, if you look at the gauge, it's like a 946. So you actually have the high strings from a 9 set and the low strings from a 10 set. That means you're still flexible if you do bendings on a G, B, and E string. But if you play power chords or chords, then the basses are from a 10 set and gives you a bit more fullness. And so that would actually be something that I would recommend you to try out.
Sounds good.
Like the coding will protect the string for a long time, especially the sound. But also like the steel that we use on these for the core wire it's actually superior to the steel that we use on our regular string sets. So if you put it under tension, it can hold more tension than like a regular set. Because if you have a string set that lasts long, but it breaks, it doesn't make sense.
That's true.
So the steel is ultra durable in its of itself. You can bend the hell out of it, but also the coating prevents the sound to last for a long time.
Awesome.
So
that sounds really good. Yeah.
Actually, my recommendation to send to you.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, I definitely like the idea of the blended set. Do you know, it's been so long since I've changed my strings. I've been out of playing for quite a few months anyway, due to an accident. But so I think the last set I had on it was a set of Elixir OptiWebs. So I can't remember, they would have been 10s, but I can't remember whether that was a 42 or a 46 down the low end. But no, I'm looking forward to trying something new.
Awesome. Then just put your email address like in the chat.
I will.
And then I contact you for your address and send you the set.
Amazing.
Also, before you do, we forgot
it.
to point out, sorry, Mick, we're talking over top of you, but we are also doing a draw. Is that correct, Dominikus?
That's correct, yeah.
One of you stands to win a D'Addario pedal board, the Expand series. So currently you've got a 1 in 2 chance, Moog. We've had 2 callers and you're a second, so 50-50 is not bad, right?
Fantastic. Well, folks, that's the end of the stream, so...
Well, we've got 2 to give away, 1 each. No! Oh, how I wish. Moog, I hope that helps you, and I hope you try out the new strings and report back to me through some sort of social media to let me know how you get on, and, you know, post it on the old gram and tag us, and we'll promote your band and stuff like that.
Thank you. Certainly will. Well, thanks for having me on, and enjoy the rest of your stream. I'll pop in and check out some other people.
Thank you, mate. Thanks for taking the time to join us.
Don't forget to put in your mail address so I can contact you.
Oh, yeah, just done that, so should be there.
He's done it. He's done it. Have you got it, Dominikus, before he leaves us?
Yes, I have.
Okay, wonderful. Thanks, Moog. Cheers. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Wow, we're on a roll now. We're on a roll. I've got some sound effects. I'm going to see if you can hear them. Can you hear this? Did you hear that?
No.
Did you hear this?
Yeah.
Right. Getting down with my live streaming buttons. Big colourful buttons. All the time we're talking nerdy stuff and I can see these big colourful buttons staring at me. Hello to the people in the chat. Before we go to our next guest, Dominikus, we had a question from the chat of someone who cannot come on live, but maybe we could answer their question. His name is Mark Guitar. And let me just get back to where he was. He's talking about baritone strings. He says that he needs some advice on what different gauges will work on a self-built baritone 680mm scale with Seymour Duncan P-Rail pickups. What do you think?
That's an interesting, like really in the detail question. I would actually know some more specifics. On a baritone, like you can use multiple gauges. We have baritone sets going from 13 or from 14. So as a recommendation for you, if you go on our website, there is like and you look under electric guitar strings, then you can see. Can we actually put the screen on here?
I'm on it right now. So I'm just on it. There we go. I've got to. I was pretty sure you were going to ask me that, so I was trying to. Here it is. Add the widget overlay. This is where we give away all my internet login details. Right. I've got to click that, and then I can accept your cookies. Nom, 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 nom. Right, so I'll take over from you. So Find Your Gear quiz is up there.
No, just go on the electric guitar string. So under Guitar Plus.
So Guitar Plus, yes.
And then electric strings.
There.
And if you go to the XLs.
Here? This XL nickel strings? Yeah.
Exactly. And if you click on Learn More,
you see all the different sets that we offer. And if you scroll down, you see the more thicker. So that's our regular baseline string series that we have since a long time, and it's really running successful for us. And for example, we have the 𝗚𝗪𝗓 set.
Wow.
Go to the bottom.
I'm scrolling with all my might.
So
am I there? 𝗚𝗪𝗓-157, did you say?
157, yes.
Somewhere there. You tell me when to stop. Do you know all the colors of these strings?
It should be orange.
Orange, right. Let's look for orange. Is it there? That's jazz mediums.
That's a different. We have multiple orange sets. So let me check. Maybe I'm wrong.
I doubt that very much. It's my clicking ability. What gauge are we looking for, Dominikus?
Like a 13.
A 13. I'm seeing 10s. Show more. We need to click the show more button.
Yeah. There.
It showed more, but not the more we wanted.
Just put it like in the search bar on top.
I'm not sure I can, but we'll find out.
Yeah.
Oh,
EXL. Put in EXL.
EXL
157. Exactly.
Oh. Just found a bug on your website, Dario. Are you sure it's 157? Oh, hang on.
There it is. So it's a 14 to 68. So if you go under, so with every string set on our website, you can go under like the string tension chart, which will list the exact tensions that you have. So for baritone guitar, you have it's like the regular standard tuning, but tuned down like a quarter. So from B to B, and then like this is for like the standard baritones. That would be my recommendation in this case.
Great.
Yeah.
Do you do XS or coated baritone strings? Because I have a baritone that needs changing out.
Yeah. At the moment, because these series are quite new, we always start with the regular gauges at first, and then we see what's the demand. So if we see demand coming, we will.
Well, the demand is from me. Can you make them, please? Very high.
I will ask
Extremely
if
high.
they can.
High demand. No, honestly, the baritone is one of my favorite guitars to play, but I don't play it that regularly. So if there's any guitar personally that I need that has coated strings, it's those, because they get dusty as heck, and I just bring them out when I do a fuzz pedal video. Right, we're going to bring in 𝗬𝗛 in a moment, and after 𝗬𝗛, we've got Steve Cassidy coming up. 𝗬𝗛 has been a long-time viewer, and we chat online, but we've never actually spoken in person or on video. So I'm very, very excited to speak to him. 𝗬𝗛 will have some string questions, and we will have some string answers. 𝗬𝗛, how you doing?
Hello, how are you?
Hello.
I hope you can hear me all right.
To see you. I can hear you wonderfully. Dominikus, all good for you?
Yeah, perfect. Nice to see you.
Welcome
first
to
of all,
the
thanks
channel.
for doing this, and thanks for having me on. I'm really excited as well. Yeah, so I'll dive straight into it. So I have a couple of questions. So first of all, the first question is, I guess, pretty straightforward in some ways. It's about my Ibanez Gem, which I like to keep in E standard tuning. Although I can play nothing like Steve Vai or anything like that, but I still try to think of that as my sort of lead playing guitar. But when I do use 9 through 42s, the lower strings are a bit floppy for my right hand, because I guess I play like a barbarian a little bit, and it gets a bit floppy and kind of jumps tunings a little bit. So I was wondering if there are sort of any in-between sets between a 10 and a 9, or some sort of hybrid set or something. And also, I do really like the sound of cobalt strings, but I have trouble with some sort of weird pinging noises with cobalt in some of my Ibanez guitars. I guess it's to do with the bridge material or whatever. So is there something equivalent in those in-between gauges that I can try from Dario?
Yeah, I already know the exact set for you. So
wow.
Let's talk gauges first. So we have for our two most popular line, which is the XL series and the NYXL series, we have an in-between set. So that's actually 9.5 to 44. So that's exactly the gauge you need if you think like a 10 is like too tight and a 9 is too loose. And then in terms of when you're looking for like a cobalt sound, the kind of sound or the thing that you want to achieve with that kind of material is to get the guitar sounding a little brighter. And what we have in our lineup, it's the NYXL series. So the NYXL series came out some years ago, and it's doing great for us. It is actually the first series where we did use the high-end steel that has more break stability. So that's the first benefit of using that. But also it has like a special wrap wire. And the special wrap wire, it has a higher content, a higher steel content, but it's not full like pro steels, because pro steels can sound quite harsh. So it's like in between like a regular nickel-plated steel set and pro steels, like a full steel set. And this set became really, really popular, especially for that sound, because you get a little bit more output for your pickups. Because of the higher steel content, like the pickups react more. It's like you pushed your gain a little bit on the amp.
Yeah. I guess that's what I like about cobalts in the first place. So.
Yeah, and especially from the frequency range, exactly where you normally have the character of your guitar, like in the one. It's getting quite technically here, but in a 1K range to 3.5K.
Hang on, sorry. It started technically, now it's getting even more technical.
Right.
And I love it.
I mean, it's called the Guitar Geek channel, so I expect people to know what we're talking about.
Sorry for interrupting you.
Yeah, so exactly the frequency range that you normally dial in on an EQ to cut through with your guitar,
right.
and cut out all the annoying cymbals from the drummer. That's basically built in the sound of these NYXL strings. That's
nice.
So they look like this. It's like a. It's a 942.
I've seen those. I've seen those in guitar stores, but I've always wondered what those were. So.
Yeah. So first of all, you have the better steel material. It has better strength. You can bend the hell out of these. So even if you choose to use a lighter gauge, you will have no issue with string breakage. And then actually this the story, because NY, it's like TheGuitarGeek is a US company, and we're located in New York. So all our production is done there. And Jim DeDario, who's the like the father of the company, he's an engineer there. And he has a lot of connections to the engineers in New York. So the reason why it's called NY steel, it's actually using the same material as was used in the strings on the Brooklyn Bridge. You know, the wires that hold the bridges?
Yeah.
So, yeah. Maybe you have a mental picture of how the Brooklyn Bridge looks like. You see these big tires, these really strong ones.
I watched enough Brooklyn Nine-Nine to kind of know what the bridge looks like. Nine-Nine.
So, we analyzed that material, and this was basically the basis for the NYXL string. That's why they called NY. And yeah, we have this special wrap wire. We have one machine in the factory that only does this wrap wire all day long. And this string is getting really popular with people that play with a lot of gain, because if you play with a lot of gain, you sometimes can lose clarity as a side effect of that. But these strings, they still are really bright. Me personally, I'm using them on my guitars as well. It's my favorite set.
Can I just ask a follow-up question about that steel?
Sure.
Is it that it sort of I know all strings do this, but does it eat away at the frets faster than other strings, or is it kind of in between where, like, I guess steel eats away faster than nickel?
So it depends what frets you have on your guitar. So there are basically two materials, nickel and steel. And then it depends, like, I would say the stronger material always wins. So if you have nickel frets, don't use pro steel, purely steel strings, because they will wear down. In general, I would say that the most dangerous thing for a string or for the frets is if you use old strings, because as soon as they rust, then they get harsh. They get a harsh surface. If you use fresh strings all the time, this effect will not be. So the difference between using like a regular nickel-plated steel set and like an 𝗏𝗏𝗧𝗏, you won't notice. But
that's really nice to hear. I never thought that the age of a string can have that sort of an impact as well.
Yeah. So I always recommend, especially if you have guitars if you have multiple guitars and some guitars you just play like once a month or so, then I would always recommend using a coated set on these, just that the strings don't corrode in the time. Maybe you have experienced in the past like guitars that are hanging on the wall and then like the frets get dark. Yeah, you can avoid that by using. Yeah, you're looking quite. Do you have such cases hanging behind you?
No, that's the Nick Johnston Schecter that gets played regularly and cleaned regularly. I guess so. This Squier Mustang, which is one of the cheapest and best guitars I've ever bought, I kind of like to mistreat it, so it doesn't get the treatment because I want it to be a little beaten. I don't know why, it's the grunge in me, but yeah, that's the guitar that comes to mind. And again, back to that baritone, that would be the one that really, every time I pick it up, I think, oh, I should really change these out. But let's just play some fuzz first. It's that kind of thing. But Sarang, you hit on something that I was going to ask. I got this Player Plus recently from Fender. And there was something, I took this to band practice and I made a video about it. And the other guitarist in my band, Steve, he said, what is this? What's going on with the setup? It's amazing. And I don't believe they're D'Addario strings because there are other brands that exist. However, what this does have is 9 to 46, which is what you're talking about. This mixed gauge of high, is it thin top, heavy bottom, or something like that? So the bass strings are thicker.
Yeah.
That, and this is what I was going to talk to you about, Dominikus. This has changed my life. I now know that my string set is 9 to 46 on a Fender scale guitar. So I checked. You do them in XS as well, don't you?
Yes, we do them. So that was the set that I actually recommended to Moog. That was like on the call before. So we have like, there is like an in-between size between 9 and 10s. So we have like 9.5 to 44. That means all the string sets are kind of in the middle between those two sets. But like the hybrid sets, what we call, so hybrid is like a mixture of a 9 and a 10 set. So you get the high strings from a 9 set and the low strings from a 10 set. We also do this like with 1052. So the high strings from a 10 set and the low strings from an 11 set. These are, we call hybrid sets. And these are perfect if you're playing like a combination of lead playing where you want the flexibility in your bendings. But then on the other hand, you play a lot of rhythm or like strong power chords, riffing, and you don't want the strings on the bottom to be floppy. That's a perfect set for that. Or if you play like some bluesy stuff, you want like this really thick sound on the bottom, then like hybrid sets are the thing, definitely.
Hey Sarang, it's an absolute pleasure to have you on and finally get to see your face and hear your voice. Thank you so much for calling in. You are in the draw for or you will be once you put your email address in that little chat to win an Expand pedal board. But Dominikus will arrange for his recommended strings to be sent out to you, and you're going to get a little horn.
Thanks so much for doing this, Andy. Thank you, Dominikus.
My pleasure.
Yeah, just to be sure, you want the in-between set, the 9.5, 44.
Yeah. That sounds like what I need. Yep.
I just make a note.
Awesome. So 𝗧𝗛𝗡 is chucking his email in the chat. Dominikus will handle that. And we will bring in Steve Cassidy next. And Ike, I know that you're waiting in the green room. Thank you for being so patient to all of you. We can only solve one person's problem at a time. Everyone gets the same amount of attention. It's like a personal Batman, but for strings. Hey 𝗬𝗛, I will speak to you again in the future. I wish you a wonderful rest of your day, and go change your strings.
Yes, and good day to you guys as well. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you, mate. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Wonderful. Hey, you are a superhero, Dominikus. You're changing people's lives one string at a time.
Yeah. Maybe we were a little bit optimistic with like five minutes per person, but
yeah, I'm enjoying the nerdy geeky chat. I think it's great. I won't say I'm learning something. I'm certainly having information given to me. I'm not sure if it's staying in, so I'll have to watch the show back later on. I know we've got a few people want to come in. Steve has been waiting for ages. Ike has been waiting for ages. So we're just going to get them in straight away once I've clicked a few buttons. Steve, I can see he's wearing headphones, and I'm going to sign him to guest 2 and click a button, and he's going to be on the show. Hi, Steve.
Hello, guys. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah,
Wonderfully.
perfect.
Wonderfully. Welcome to the show.
Excellent.
Nice to meet you.
Cool. Nice to meet you too, guys. Very cool to be on. I'm really sorry I'm going to bother you with some really old school 𝗏𝗏 issues. Sorry, I'm looking up here because my monitor's up ahead. Okay, you ready? Here we go. Do you recognize this packaging?
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah, that's like a vintage set.
That's it. And in here.
Wow.
So I'm trying to show you. There we go. There we go.
That's some traditional strength.
Wow.
Yeah, so I've got a confession. I don't even play the guitar, but you used to get players' points with these, and I've amassed quite a lot of players' points over the years. But I don't think I can use these anymore. Is that right?
You can. That's a good point, actually. So
okay.
Let me just talk a little bit about this for all the people that are watching this.
I do play the guitar, by the way. Sorry, I was joking.
Okay.
I do play the guitar.
That really set me off. Sorry. I believed you 100%.
So what we have is a website called 𝗧𝗪𝗧𝗪𝗧𝗪𝗧𝗪𝗧𝗪𝗧𝗪𝗧𝗪𝗧𝗪𝗧. It's basically, for all the people that don't know, that's like a loyalty program. So if you open a package of ours, let me just do it one package of these. On the inside, of each package, there's a written code on it.
Quick, screenshot that. Screenshot that.
So with this code, if you create an account on 𝗧𝗪𝗧𝗪𝗧𝗪𝗧, you can put in these codes and collect points this way. And then you can redeem the points for purchasing strings or other stuff that we do. We do a lot of guitar accessories like the pedal board, like the cables, capos, tuners, basically everything you need as a guitarist. And every product that is like closely packaged has a code, and the higher the price of the product, the more points you get. And it's our way to say thank you for being loyal to us. So we give something back. So around every 8 to 10 set of strings, if you bought them, you have enough points to get one for free. So it's around 10% discount. So everyone who's not on 𝗧𝗪𝗧𝗪𝗧𝗪 yet, Google it, just put in the 𝗏𝗏 𝗧𝗪𝗧𝗪𝗧𝗪, make an account and start collecting points. Because I hear this all the time. I meet people, tell them about it, and they say, I bought like 100 sets of the 𝗏𝗏 in my life. I already would have 1 million points. And I said, yeah, make an account soon.
So these old ones that don't have barcodes, like these are literally from the 1990s. I've been using them for a long time. I think these are not accepted anymore. Is that correct? Because there isn't a barcode that just says like 2 player points on it or 3 player points or something like that. Or in the case of in case of the old 3-pack, it was I think you got 10 points.
Wow.
I actually would have to check that with our IT department if these codes are still valuable, because to be honest, I don't know.
Can you, like,
we'll figure that out.
It's written on the plastic bag inside. Have you tried
on the plastic bag inside?
Yeah, no. This I think this predates the plastic bag inside. Or no, it's before they started doing the player circle. This was players points. This was many years ago.
Yeah.
That they didn't have barcodes. You were supposed to send in the pack. You were supposed to send in this actual cardboard packaging.
Right.
By post.
Yeah, you're right.
But for me in the UK, me in Scotland, this wasn't much of an option because you had to send it to the US. And I was always after that 𝗬𝗪𝗘𝗘𝗧𝗪𝗔𝗕 bar stool. Oh, man, one day.
One day.
The dream.
That's it. But it was quite expensive to send the packs off to America and then get it sent back and stuff like that. So there you go.
Yeah,
not to worry about. I'll keep them. I'll do something with them. But I've got. I don't want to take up any more of your time, but I do have one more question to ask you about. I'll have to go off camera just for 1 second. Hold on. Got to grab a prop. Hold on.
I really like this bit with Steve on the show, Dominikus. He's got props, he's got jokes, he's got vintage strings. It's amazing. Right, he's back.
Everything.
Oops. Hello again. Right, okay, so in this bag here, I've got...
What's in the bag? What's in the bag?
Right, it's very big and heavy, right? I'm going to just try and show you.
Oh, yeah, you have collected strings.
Wow.
Yeah, I've been collecting these strings for a long time because I remember reading a news article a good few years ago about saying how the materials for strings are in short supply and we should be recycling things and all that kind of thing. So I've been amassing them for a long time, but I don't have anywhere to put them or anything to do with them.
Yeah, so let me explain. So in the US, actually, we have a recycling program. So if you go into a store in the US, you will have like a box. It's called playback. Like the campaign is called playback. You can put all strings in there to recycle. That's so far just it's US only. You're from Scotland, right?
Correct.
Sorry?
Yeah, yes, sorry, I said correct. That was my Scottish accent. Apologies.
Okay, all right.
I should have said I.
Yeah. So in Europe, like the recycling is quite well developed, I would say. So if you recycle through like the regular recycling system, it will be fine. But we also have some, we know some people like in the industry that are using that to make kind of jewelry out of it or repurpose it for some other stuff. So I will let you know about this. If you put in your email address, I will send you an address where you can send it to. And then we make good use out of it. Because that's another thing that we do at the Dario. We are trying to be as environmental friendly as like production can be. So that's kind of the recycling program we have in the US. For example, we do, besides guitar, we also do products for drums, for woodwind instruments. So for example, we do our drumsticks, like ProMark is another Dario brand. And we do all the replanting of the trees that we use for the production, as an example, or like with the reed production of the mouthpieces for woodwind instruments, we changed to be totally organic just this year. So like this total environmental friendly longevity stuff, it's quite important for us as a company. So thank you for collecting these strings. We definitely get you some contact where you can send it to.
Oh, brilliant. That's great. Thank you very much. I've been amassing them for a long time, so it'd be great to put them somewhere.
But you need to tell me what strings you want.
Oh, well, I'm a
That was the purpose of the show.
Oh, right. Sorry, I didn't even realize we were getting strings. I just wanted to complain about things.
Right.
I do like a 9 set, coated preferably. Pretty much use that on all the 25.5-inch scale guitars. And if I use a 24.75-inch guitar, I like the 9.5 set you do. I've got a 10-pack of these. These are very handy, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, thanks very much.
Thank you.
Awesome. So,
thanks,
Steve,
Andy, for having me on.
Hey, you're welcome, Steve. It's great to have you on. Thank you for making me laugh and cackle. If you could put your email address,
Andy,
please,
you
mate.
could check. I will do, Andy. If you want to check out my channel, I can make you laugh some more over there.
Put that in the private chat. I will copy that, and I will absolutely check out your channel. What is your channel called? Promote it now.
It's called Steve Cassidy Guitar.
Wow. How did you think of that?
You know.
Yeah, well, thank you, mate. Pleasure talking to you. I wish you a wonderful rest of the day, and go and change your strings.
I will do. Thanks, guys. Goodbye.
Cheers. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Cool. What a fun chap to talk to.
Yeah.
We've got 2 people waiting in the green room. If you do want to come on live and talk to us, and mainly Dominikus, about string advice, everybody that talks to us is going to get a free packet of strings courtesy of 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏. Everybody that comes on the show will go in a draw where someone will win an not XS pedal board, an expand pedal board. A coated pedal board. That's what we need. An XS
Yeah, it's not yet coated.
Pedal board. That's where I was going. You're welcome. R&D department, you're welcome. You can have that for absolutely free. Right. We've got so many windows open on my PC. Where is my chatty chat? There we are. Right, people are being so patient as well. Thank you. 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 is coming in next. He's been waiting an exceedingly long time. And after that, we've got Jordan coming in. But if you do want to join in and you need the link, it's in the chat from the YouTube stuff in that little live chat thing. Dominikus, are you ready for 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏?
I'm always ready.
Okay, here we go. Here he's on the show. Hello, 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏. Welcome to the show. What are your string problems?
I have... Oh, you're not... okay, there's a delay in the microphone here. I have a baritone. I have not recently changed strings. I am, shall we say, 6 months out of changing the strings.
Wow.
So an EXL 157 would be lovely.
Yeah, totally.
Last time I changed... I use a 𝗏𝗪𝗇𝗏𝗏 baritone from PRS.
Yep.
And those EXL 157s were just exactly the right gauge for 14 to 68s.
Yep. It's perfect. I love to hear that. Do you have any other guitars as well besides the baritone?
Yes, I did. I had my practice studio looted by a former housemate, so I lost 4. But I replaced the 𝗏𝗪𝗏𝗏𝗏. I had an LTD Explorer type, and I was using 12 to 56s on that. And an acoustic Martin. I can't remember what that gauge was. And I also have a bass, but I don't have any worries as long as I can hit a 35-inch B string. I'm not seeing my face coming through very well here, so there's not much I can do to fix the camera. There we are.
That's working perfectly fine.
Okay.
Yeah, great.
Okay.
Do you have,
well, the feedback. no, the feedback to me is not working well. So I beg your pardon. What was your question?
My question was if you have any further questions, actually, regarding strings. Is there anything I can help out?
Bass. Yes. 4-string bass, 35-inch scale, BEAD.
I mean the 35.
It's a Schecter, a pocket.
Yeah.
Yes.
If you do the BEAD tuning, it's basically the low strings from a 5-string set. So you can use whatever 5-string set you like in terms of gauges.
Yes.
Some go to 130, some go to 135 on the bottom.
Yes.
Because most 5-string basses are 35-inch as well. You can just use these. We don't have a dedicated set. Like with the Dario strings, no matter which dealer
I can make singles.
You can make singles. That's what I wanted to say. It's no matter where you buy your strings from, you can always purchase single strings from us. So if you want to have specific gauges, you can combine them like you want. Or in this case, if you have like a 5-string set that you like, then just use the low 4 strings of the set. But
Andy,
yeah,
it was a Schecter. Sorry, I thought you were finished. It was a Schecter Apocalypse C1EX bass, and that's my current bass.
Mm-hmm. That's a 35-inch scale, right?
Yes, sir.
Then I think Dominikus
it
will
uses the low 4.
The low 4 and 5 of a 5-string set. That's exactly what the bass player in my band uses, and it confuses me every time we play. I think he's playing different notes and wondering what's going on. So Ike, thank you so much. I see your name pop up in the chat very often. It's wonderful to talk to you. If you want to stick your email address in this private chat in this now, not in the YouTube chat, stick your email address in the private chat, and Dominikus will get some strings sent out to you. Dominikus, what set do you think you would recommend for Ike?
So as you play baritone, I again would go for the EXL 157 for your guitar.
Yes, please. Yes, please.
Yeah.
Okay. In the Call My Show chat?
That's correct. Yeah, not the YouTube chat, in the Call My Show chat.
Very good. I'm on it. Thank you.
Okay, Ike.
Thank you for coming on.
Your strings and go and feed your cat.
Yeah, we sent some cat food with the package.
Oh, I have 2. They are kittens.
Oh, bless.
Nice.
Pleasure to talk to you, mate. Take care, and yeah, we'll speak to you soon in some other way or format. Thank you for coming on the show. Wow, cats and everything, amazing. So Ike's just chucking his email address in the private chat. After that, we have a young man called Jordan coming on. And Jordan I know well, because Jordan is the editor of my weekly gear videos. Oh. So I know he likes fuzz pedals and things like that, and I know he plays a Pokemon fuzz pedal that I once reviewed. Apart from that, I don't know what string gauges or anything he uses. So I'm about to learn a lot more information about someone I know quite well.
Yeah, you should have this information with people that you're working with.
Exactly. Hello, what's your name? Where'd you come from? What string gauge do you play? That's top 3 questions, right? Speed dating for guitar players, maybe. Right, he's back. He's wandering around, and I'm going to put him live in just a second. Before we do, let's just say that if you want to call into the show, that is how you get some strings sent out to you by the stringmeister himself, Dominikus. Also, you'll be in the draw for a Expand pedal board. Am I in the draw for that pedal board, by the way?
No, of course not.
Oh, okay, fair enough. Right, fine. Right. Oh, Ike is still there. Sorry, Ike. Ike is. I can't really remove him until I can flip it around and I can do this so that Ike doesn't get thrown out of the private chat. There we go. Steve Cassidy's joined again, by the way. Maybe Steve's got another question. Maybe he started learning how to play guitar. Right, Jordan, you are live, my friend. Good morning.
Hello.
Hey.
How you doing?
Hi.
Well, where are you calling?
I mean, I'm taking young man as a compliment, especially after that chiropractor's appointment.
Well, I mean it with love and positivity. So if I misgendered or misaged you, I'm very sorry. This person.
I know. I'm taking it as a compliment. Everyone keeps calling me an old man. I'm just like, ouch. I did have a little laugh at what you were saying about the guitar speed dating though, because I've actually used that on a date before.
What have you used? What's your line? Tell us.
Admittedly, we became actually quite good friends for a little while, but let's just say I'm not the most socially apt, and she said everything about playing guitar, so I immediately go full on, like, you know, when we talk about a bit of gear, full on nerd mode.
Nice.
For about 3 hours.
Oh. And did she wake up at the end, or did she?
Oh yeah,
through with
got along like a house on fire.
Oh,
we're just like, yeah, I'm a little bit too much. She's like, what do you play? And I'm like, well, I play Blasphemy with a 30-inch baritone.
Wow.
A lot of baritone.
There's a lot of baritone. Yeah, sorry, Dominikus. A lot of baritone. We were wondering if we were going to get any bass, and it turns out it's quite a bit of baritone.
Well, I mean, just to add to the Blasphemy, that's not B2B. That's, well, double drop C sharp.
Okay, then please tell us which string gauge are you using on that double drop C sharp baritone?
Well, that was my main question. Any recommendations? Because the stock strings are on there, and I went down to my local music shop, and in much more colourful language, the guy behind the till just looked at me and said, "Why?"
Why you want to change strings?
Well, he was.
Or why I use this tuning?
It was just why. He just looked at the guitar and he was like, "Why?"
Yeah, I mean, you can do everything you want. So as I said before, we don't offer we can't offer like a string set for everything, because we already have too many string sets. But we have single strings for everything.
Perfect.
You can combine whatever you'd like to. We just have to figure out which gauges work for you.
Yeah, because I was recommended, was it the Fender Bass 6 set? Because that goes down to like 105, I believe, or it might be a little bit lower down. It might go like a little bit further, which, because obviously Bass 6 is the same scale length and everything. And the top 3 strings are fine, good, decent amount of tension. But then obviously the higher strings are just so taut, it's just unusable, really. So I don't suppose you have any recommendations on that at all.
Yeah, the question would be like, if you're talking about the bottom strings, right? That are the issue.
Yeah, sorry, complete wrong way around.
Yeah, like in terms of sound, it's the bottom string.
Yeah.
So the question would be, how thick can you go that it still fits on your guitar? Because like some of the holes on the tuning pegs, they are too small.
Tuning pegs are going, they're getting removed. I need to definitely get some thicker ones.
Yeah, so that would be the first thing. So you tell me the tuning again.
So it's C sharp. It's just standard drop C sharp, but down an entire octave. So like a bass would be.
So bass dropped down to C
just with 2 extra strings
from E. So E.
Yeah. So C.
Why?
So it's actually lower as a regular bass. Is it? So we have to give some credits to the guy in the store.
Yeah, I think he's right. I hope he locked the door when he left.
Yeah, Max is not impressed with me.
So, Dominikus, we are pushing the boundaries of your string knowledge today. You're about to solve the problem of a clear madman.
That's true. So, what do you have on there currently?
It's just what it came stock with, because it's a Harley Benton. It's the Harley Benton 30-inch one, the one that sold out in next to no time after going live. So I believe I can do a little bit of Googling.
You shall do no such thing on my show.
Do you have like a product code?
Yeah, I've got it right here. So it's 14 to 68 gauge at the moment, and it is
Wow.
Well,
that's the proper choice, because that's like the EXL 100.
Yeah, rather floppy.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong, it's fun doing some ridiculously obnoxious bends that detuned. Everyone just looks at you like there is something very clearly wrong. I just like having, and obviously, you know, you go. I mean, yeah, but you go very out of tune very quickly with it, which I suppose the lower tuning isn't so bad, because, I mean, 9 times out of 10 you can't really hear it.
You're just feeling it. You're not hearing it.
But yeah, that's the fun.
Okay, I'm going to get an answer.
What we offer
is just something a little bit thicker.
Hang on, Dominikus.
Yeah. Sorry, that all bugged a bit on my end.
What's your answer?
So if you're using at the moment a 68 as your lowest string, and it is obviously quite floppy, then we need to thicken up these strings, and we can go as thick as an 80. But that would be something you have to experiment a little bit. So I actually can, but this takes a little bit of time. I can calculate the string tension. I probably write you an email about this, because it's like kind of a specific case. But just for all the people watching the chat to know, we go down as low as like an 80 single string. So you get some of the tension back for sure. And it should work, but you have to make sure that this kind of thickness fits on your guitar. Because it has to.
I mean, I do need to get new tuners on it, because they're not great. So that's on the list anyway. Because
don't
if I remember correctly,
as well, Jordan, the
D'Addario
nuts do need to be sorted out.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Whatever Dominikus responds, make sure you take it back to that shop, the shop that you went into when he told you to get out or whatever it was. Take it back there. So fix that. Done it.
Yeah. So I will definitely
I have tortured that poor man over the years with my weird and random guitar requests.
Good. So
I mean,
you don't
we
have an answer, right? Sorry, Dominikus, we're all going at the same time. Do you have an answer, or is it a check it out, calculate the tension, and email Jordan later?
That's exactly the thing. I will calculate it, send you a recommendation, send you the single strings to try out as a thank you for joining the chat, of course.
Oh, thank you.
And then, we can see how mad you're going with this.
Yeah, and report back to Andy on the chaos it brings.
Yeah,
please. We will definitely have an update on this, and I'm really pleased that we've given something Dominikus has trouble with. He's got an answer. It just needs to calculate it, and that's fair.
Because
wonderful. So, Jordan, of course, I have your email address, but please stick it in the chat anyway, so that Dominikus has it and he can add it to the draw, because you could be winning yourself an Expand pedal board as well, and then you need to buy more pedals. You see, so it's all about enabling other players to buy more gear, of course.
I mean, I'm pretty sure that was our first conversation. We were talking initially about editing and video production for what? Maybe about 20 minutes?
Yeah.
And then for, I think, like a good hour or so, we were just chatting about pedals and everyone that we need.
That's my life, Jordan, as you know.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, like you were saying as well just a minute ago about the Pokeball first pedal.
Yeah.
I love it.
Good.
I absolutely love it. Best birthday present ever.
Good. I'm pleased. Right, Jordan. I will be in touch in a bit because we've got some stuff to edit this week. We would be talking to Matthias next, but Matthias, I can see that it says EOS webcam utility on your screen, so I think your camera has turned itself off. So we're going to go to Josh Tamberg instead. Yeah. Jordan, you stick your email address in there, and then when Dominikus figures out your string gauge, go and change your strings.
If.
Perfect. Yeah.
There's no
Oh,
if.
thank you. I
There's
will love you and
only
leave you. And cheers for having me.
Thanks, Jordan.
Thank you for coming on the show.
Bye. And good luck.
It's a long round of applause. I need to shorten that for sure. Dominikus, we don't really know how long we're going to be live streaming for today.
Sure.
We are entering everyone into the draw, and we want to give everyone as much a chance as possible. We initially said that we would finish in around 35 minutes from now. So if anyone's watching and waiting for the last moment to get on the show, and you're wondering maybe you're a beginner or you've never been live on the internet before, hopefully you can tell that Dominikus and I are very nice people on screen, of course. Off screen, we're terrible, evil people. But on screen, we're very nice and polite, and so is everyone in the chat. So this is a safe space if you want to come on and have your string questions answered. Right, we've got Josh Tamberg up next. There he is. Josh is set to guest 2, and I'm about to bring him in. Hello, Josh. Nice to see you.
Guten Morgen.
Guten Morgen.
Hey, nice. So, where are you from?
Josh Tamberg from Iowa, USA, where it is 5:56 in the morning.
All right.
Wow.
And
is that
my
coffee?
question would be, definitely coffee. All the first cup of coffee and the first words out of my mouth this morning.
Is this the regular time you change strings?
Yes, because my daughter is still sleeping, so that's when I have time.
What have you got strapped on there, Josh? What are you wearing? What guitar?
2018 limited edition Carina Epiphone.
Very nice. I love an Explorer.
I absolutely love this, and Ben Coombs has been hunting for one ever since he saw me with this one. So,
what's the neck like on that? Is it slim taper or is it one of the big 50s ones?
So it's not. It's supposed to be a slim 60s, but I have a Gibson classic 60s. It's a little thicker than that, but definitely not, baseball bat Epiphone like I have sitting in the corner.
Right.
So
I'm looking
it's
for a
a
baseball
60s,
bat
but just
Explorer.
a little. Which one is that? I think if you go back to like a 2016, before this limited edition came out, they had the thicker, full Les Paul thickness neck on them. I prefer the thinner for some reason. I don't know. Everything I have has
which
thin
strings
necks.
are you playing at the moment, sir?
These are 10 to 52. And I tend to try to find something that has a heavier lower 3 due to drop tunings and a rather heavy right hand. Because I tend to play a little too enthusiastically, and then you get the lovely slightly detuned sound when I hit the strings with too thick of a pick.
Yeah, that's great.
So I'm looking for something just like the bottom 2 strings to be up, but I'm not sure how far up I should go. I have a friend that says, just go up to like a 60. And I tried a 61, like, holy crap, I'm not a bass player.
Yeah, so let me hear out on this one. So you're tuning down to drop D, or is the whole guitar dropped?
This one is generally standard and then drop D. Although yesterday when I restrung it and polished it up, I went to a half step down, and I'm actually liking it a lot more. It seems it's kind of like a Fender thing where you drop it a half step and suddenly it's like, oh, okay, it really kind of gives a little more.
Yeah.
So it'll probably be like half step down and then drop D.
Yeah. All right. So what I would use for that, if you want to use like a fixed set, to try first, and then we can see if you adjust with some single strings. But for me, I'm playing a Les Paul as well, and I tune down to D standard, and I use our 𝗦𝗪𝗧𝗛𝗢1156 on this. So this would be an 11 set, but with a really, really tight bottom. And that's my set that I play for years now. And it's, for me, it works perfectly for these types of tunings. So I guess if you would still be in standard tuning and only drop the low E string, then probably an 11 set will be a little heavy on the top strings, especially if you still want to do bendings. But if you want to drop a half step anyway, like, I would give this a try. And then if you notice that you will have some issues, some sun strings that are too loose or too tense, then you can adjust with a single string for that. So that would be my recommendation. And especially, sounds like you're playing a little bit of the heavier stuff in that combination.
Yeah, the Epiphone is in C standard and then dropped for my other Les Paul. So it just depends on which guitar.
Yeah. But we also have like
Andy
a C
started,
standard. We also have a C
Andy
standard.
created a monster with me. Now I have Fenders and Gibsons and Epiphones all over my walls.
That's how it's supposed to be.
Oh, wow. Very nice.
Nice. Yeah, so 𝗦𝗪𝗧𝗛𝗢1156 definitely would be my recommendation here. First of all, because it's the string set that I personally play as well. So, and then, like, if you need to adjust in any way, you can do that with single strings. We have a standard, if you play C standard, we have also a 1260 string.
That's what's on my Epiphone Les Paul.
Yeah, exactly. But that's kind of heavy. So,
yep. But if you're playing kill switch engage and really fast, it works really well.
Yeah. I mean, it keeps everything tight, of course. So
yes, it does.
No flubbiness. Yeah.
So if we were to try and get single strings, can we do that from your website then?
You're from the US, right?
Yes.
Yes, you can purchase on the website or like any guitar store.
They'll sell single strings.
Sorry?
They will sell single strings.
They at least can get them for you. So of course, not every store will have everything in stock, but every store that has the Dario strings can purchase from us the single strings.
Perfect.
Yeah. All right. Do you have any other questions?
Yeah, sorry. Please continue.
No, not unless you know how to potty train a 3-year-old.
No, I have no estimate for that.
I'm all out of ideas. That's a blur. That's a very, very long, sleepless blur. Hey, Josh, it's really nice to talk to you live in person. So thank you for coming on to the show and being around the channel in general. I hope that we answered some of your questions. And do you want one of those horn things? Should I give you one for Josh?
You can give me a... Wow, that was a lot louder than I expected it to be.
Sorry.
Everyone's awake now.
next year I'll be a little bit closer and be in Wiesbaden sometime.
Oh,
around,
nice.
Cool.
February,
actually,
March. We'll be moving.
Okay.
it's
then,
actually just like 30 minutes from here.
Are you in Frankfurt?
We are Frankfurt, yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Wow, you can pop down your local Ďaďario GmbH and pick up some single strings.
I'm excited. I can drive to there, pick up the strings, and then drive another hour and a half and go look at Thomann.
Exactly, and find something to put those strings on.
I need a bigger house to store more guitars.
Indeed.
That's for sure.
Well, I think Ďaďario do guitar hangers as well, don't you? You do guitar hanging things, so you can purchase some of those as well if you want.
Sure.
Although I could use a bigger expand pedal board because my one is currently full.
Oh, well, in that case, all you need to do, Josh, is drop your email address in the interview chat, not in the YouTube live chat, and Dominikus will put your name in that proverbial hat. Thank you for talking to us, mate. It's been a pleasure. Hope you have a great rest of the day.
Thank you for coming on.
Okay, go change your strings, buddy. Bye-bye. Wonderful. I'm having a nice time. You having a nice time, Dominikus?
Of course. I always have.
Are you hungry yet?
You.
I know it's around lunchtime for us, so my
Well, I
belly's
did
starting to make noises.
I did an extensive breakfast, so I plan forward to do.
I had a Nutri-Grain bar thing, and that was very sensible. I've done a sensible thing. But, Dominikus, I'm going to write to you on our Facebook because Steve managed to get his email address to me. Oh, no, he hasn't yet. Steve Cassidy has not shared his email address yet, so we can't do the draw because we're still waiting on Steve's email address. He has sent me his latest video from his YouTube channel, though, so he's got his priorities correct. So I'll go and watch that after this stream. Next up, we've got someone called Mark B, and he's going to join us and tell us his string problems. When he does, he's going to get a set of strings sent to him from Dominikus at Ďaďario and be in the draw to win an Expand pedal board. So I'm very excited to talk to Mark. I was talking to him in the YouTube chat. So Mark, welcome to the show. Hello.
Hello.
Hi, how you
Hello,
doing?
nice to meet you.
I actually do have a absolutely beginner question, as I am a beginner, and it's hard to explain what my question is. But if you go to a store or if you are online, if you buy something like a guitar or a pedal, is something you can try out. But if I went to a store a few weeks ago here, and I wanted to buy some strings. There was a wall of strings, different strings. Then I was talking to my guitar teacher yesterday, actually. What should I take care of about strings? Because for me as a beginner, I don't know what the difference makes on the strings. I started with these pink strings in these pink packages where there was an Amazon tip, so I bought it on Amazon. Actually, last week I bought these here for my next trial, but I have no idea what I look out if these strings fits for me or not. So for me as a beginner, I have absolutely no idea what should I take care of strings.
So I would say if you're a beginner, what you should be looking into is taking as less time caring about strings as possible. So use a string set that holds a long time, that gets in tune fast and holds the tuning, and keeps you away from restringing your guitar so that you have more time to experience playing. That would be my recommendation, because you don't want to, if you play a lot in the beginning and you want to figure stuff out, the last thing you want to do is change strings on your guitar. So I would definitely go for a coated string set, also because it is if you use a film coating on the string, it kind of softens the surface a little bit. So this helps with building your calluses. You have to build that up over time, otherwise it hurts. Do you play acoustic or do you play electric?
No, I play this Gretsch here.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
A wonderful guitar. I really love it.
Yeah. It looks pretty nice. So it probably, I would say, from the scale length, the standard set that you would use for that kind of guitar is a 10 to 46.
Yeah.
That's probably the string it comes with from the factory. And then you can see what you actually like. Do you feel when you play it that you have to press really hard, or do you feel?
No, I think it's the gauge is for me. It's a 10 to 46. This is what I already have on the guitar. This feels fine for me. Actually, we are teaching a lot with bending at the moment, as I'm learning a Pink Floyd song at the moment currently. So, but it doesn't really hurt me on my fingertips or so. So it feels fine for me.
So if you're learning Pink Floyd stuff, you sometimes have bendings that go above like a full step.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the case where it gets kind of hard if you play tens. So one possibility could be to try out a hybrid set. So where you have like a thinner top three strings, like we discussed before in this conversation already, because then you can do. I think there are even like 2 whole tone bendings in some of his solos.
Yeah.
So if you do that as a beginner on a 10, that needs some serious strength in your fingers.
And these songs are quite hard to learn.
Yeah, especially. So he definitely doesn't play 10s.
I don't know actually.
I'm quite sure you can't do that. So just as a general guideline, the thinner you go with a string, the more flexible it gets, and the thicker it is, the more stiff it gets. So you can play around with these gauges, but I would say, like, as a general recommendation, 10 to 46 is always good. If you want a little bit more flexibility, I would go to 946 in this case. I wouldn't put the bottom strings to a 9 string set, because on this scale length it can get quite loose, and then you have to play with some. And that's a personal thing, of course, because but if you feel comfortable with the low strings on the 10 set, I would just keep them and just use the thinner top strings.
Okay.
And in terms of material and quality, the standard is always nickel-plated steel. You get that from all kind of brands. And I notice I go into shops regularly and see all these big string walls.
Yeah.
But I would say, like, out of this collection, probably like people choose like probably always the same 10%, and the other are just for the ones that have special needs,
Okay.
So standard is definitely 9s or 10s on an electric or something like a hybrid. And as I said, I would go for something with quality, because it takes away a lot of the pain. For example, with the XS strings, because we use a higher end steel material, it keeps the tuning pretty well. So you have less tuning issues. Even when you put the guitar down for a little bit and you take it away, you take it again to play, normally you have to retune it. But actually with these strings, I can just take it and play right away. And that's the thing that you want as a beginner, get right to the playing.
Okay.
So my recommendation would be also like this XS 946 set. Unless you say you don't want the top strings to be thinner, then we can go for 1046. But that's up to you if you want to try something.
Okay, thank you very much.
Mark, don't go just yet. We need you to leave your email address in the interview chat, not in the YouTube chat. So that's the YouTube chat is public. There is an interview chat that should be on your screen somewhere.
Okay.
So Dominikus is going to send you the strings, and you're going to be in the draw to win the pedal board. But let's just go away from strings for a moment. What was? How long have you been playing guitar, and what was it that made you start playing?
Actually, I tried my first try playing guitar was when I still was in school. I was about 14, 15 years old. I'm not sure anymore. Then I went to a local guitar store because there was no internet at this time. I'm 45 now, so it's 30 years ago. And I bought a Western guitar with heavy steel strings, and I wasn't able to play this guitar. So I don't know what happened to this guitar, and I never tried it again. Then a few years ago, I bought an Ibanez guitar. It was just at the beginning of the pandemic, but then I hurt my hand, so I wasn't to learn to play again. And last year, this guitar got broken because I was falling on it.
Oh no!
So I thought, okay, but I still want to learn play guitar. So I bought this scratch guitar, which I really love. It feels great in my hands. And then I started to learn it online with an app, but it didn't really work out. So I went to a guitar teacher. And now every week I have my 1 hour lesson with him, and I play every day at least 30 minutes. And it makes so much fun at the moment. And I also I don't want just to learn play guitar. I also want to understand how a guitar works. So I made the whole setup on the guitar by myself. I want to know how pickups work. I want to know how pedals work. So I currently bought me a do-it-yourself kit for a compressor pedal, as I learning Pink Floyd at the moment, so you need a compressor pedal. It's the whole bunch of thing. I also want to understand, because I'm a nerd. I'm working my profession. I'm working in the IT business, so technique is always around me. So this is also I want to understand everything, and at the end I'm also a hunter and a collector. I don't think this will be my last.
Oh no. And, one more.
My wife isn't happy about that.
Oh man, I just want to say on behalf of all other guitar on behalf of all other guitar players, welcome to the best hobby and/or profession in the world, and I wish you the best of luck and the most fun with it. Enjoy it, and please check in on the channel, in a few months or whenever you want, and please let me know how you're doing. I'm genuinely curious as to how your Dave Gilmour playing will go with these strings, and how you progress as a player. So enjoy the guitar.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thanks for coming on, Mark. Bye bye.
Don't forget to put in your email in the chat.
Email address in the chat, and then we'll bye. He works in IT. I'm sure he knows how to type an email address. I would hope. I don't want to put this too far, Dominikus, but it feels like we're changing lives today. What do you think?
Of course, that's
great. This must have like the guitar emergency services. Hello, you've called the guitar emergency services. How can we help you?
We should start a hotline.
Yeah. There's got to be money in that, surely. Surely there's a way to make an obscene, offensive amount of money doing that. Very, because I'm only in this for the money, as you know. As are you.
Yeah, we all are for the money, because
That's why we do this
expensive cars.
Right, we have someone very dear to my heart joining us in a moment. Her name is Valeria, and she is a moderator on this channel. She has some string questions, and you are going to be the guy that answers the string questions. So, assigning her to guest number 2. There we go. And Josh Tamberg is back in the green room. Hi, Josh. Valeria.
That's good, because we don't have his email address right now.
Okay. So. Welcome to the show, Valeria. Josh, put your email address in there. Can you hear us?
Hello there. How are you?
Great. How about you?
Doing all right. Thank you so much.
You're wearing an Ibanez hoodie.
An Ibanez hoodie that I won on this very same podcast and channel. Thank you so much. Shout out to Dan. And shout out to Michiel, because he sent me this amazing Ibanez t-shirt.
That's brilliant. Bootleg gear, that's what we like. Unofficial merchandise for the win.
Absolutely. Patent pending.
Patent pending. Sorry, Dominikus, you spotted an acoustic, right?
I spotted an acoustic right away, but I see on the other side there's an electric too.
Yeah, Yeah, I mostly play electric, to be honest. I started with acoustic, just like a lot of people, I guess. But I mostly play electric guitar, and that one right there is the love of my life. That one right there. It's an Ibanez RG350, and I love it. And yeah, I usually play 9 to 46. I've been using the Dario for a long time. Of course, that guitar as well comes with the Darius. And I have a couple of sets, actually. I have these two unopened, waiting to be put on a new guitar. The thing is, I have very small hands. So maybe this is a good question as well for a beginner, which maybe I'm starting to work on their calluses and how much pressure to put on strings and stuff. Since I have very small hands, maybe it could be useful to know which string gauge is the best for us, because we have to put more pressure, and maybe a higher gauge string may feel a little bit like a leather band, like super big. So I guess that will be my question. I'm very happy with this gauge though, but I may be open to try a different setup with the Darius.
Sure. Cool. Yeah, let's address the small hand thing first. For me too, I don't have the biggest hands in the world. I'm kind of jealous of, like, Andy, I know you have big hands. I'm kind of jealous of that.
Oh, Andy is out of the charts with the.
So
I look like a little godling next to him. That's not fair.
So heavy.
Yeah, and I'm kind of, I see like players like Tommy Emmanuel and John Mayer. They have huge hands. Stevie Ray Vaughan had huge hands. So and these people get away with playing thicker strings, because most of the time they also have a little bit more strength. So, but in terms of what fits your hand, I actually made the experience that it's more about the scale length than about the string choice, actually. So if you have a smaller scale length, I think on the Ibanez it's kind of comparable to a Stratocaster, if I remember correctly. So it's a quite. Do you know by any chance, Andy, like the scale length of this Ibanez?
But this one?
Fender scale, right?
Yeah.
It's a 25.5.
Yeah. So that's what like a standard Stratocaster or something is like. So this is kind of a longer scale length. So you will have a little bit wider space between the frets if you compare it to maybe a Les Paul style guitar. That's why I'm playing a Les Paul, because it just fits my smaller hands better. But if you feel, it depends if like the problems are in the stretching or really in the pressing down. But I definitely would recommend using a 9 set then. You already play 946. If this feels good to you, there's no reason to change. It's quite popular. We have some people on this day that play this gauge of strings, like Andy just noticed that these exist. But if you feel this is kind of tense and you want to go a little bit lighter, don't shy away from using like a regular 9 set. We go as low as to 8 sets, 838. I would just say try it and then see for yourself how you like it. Again, for the calluses, building the calluses, the question is, you can use like a coated string set, which has a little softer surface, which is more convenient to play. But then, of course, there's no incentive for your fingers to build calluses. So if you play rough or uncoated string sets that have a rougher surface, your finger will adjust. So it's just a natural adjustment process. To whatever you play, your fingers will adjust. So it's more like, where are you at the moment and what feels good for you at the moment? I would always go for, if you have like I would always recommend trying a coded set like the XS and see if you like it, because if you like it, you have the longest lifetime out of it, and you need to change strings less. You in the end pay less money because you buy one set and you can use it as long as you maybe would need to change 4 or 5 times with an uncoded set. So it saves a lot of headache. You don't have to wipe it down after playing to keep it fresh. So
Yeah, for sure.
but you already have the NYXLs and the XTs, so I'm quite curious
Yeah.
how you.
I don't have
so
the XS yet.
yeah, then this will be your set that you get today to try that as well, and then
Nice.
you can try everything, and then in the end what fits you
Yeah,
best.
for sure. Yeah, I was
you
just
want-
asking that question because it may help to more beginner guitar players. I already have developed my calluses and all of that, so I'm just trying to ask something that hasn't been asked yet.
all right.
But also I have another one right there. Is you can see it, but it's another Ibanez guitar, of course.
Oh, yeah.
So that one I use because since this one has an 𝗧𝗛𝗡 tremolo bridge. Not a Floyd, but the other one is a fixed bridge. So I use the other one for more low tunings. I play a lot of hard rock metal stuff. So for down tunings, I use that one. So maybe that's another question, that is this gauge good for that as well, to go really and low?
What gauge do you have right on there right now?
On the same one, 9-46.
And you tune down to what?
Maybe drop C sometimes.
Drop C.
Or C
I
standard.
would say,
yeah.
For drop C, I would definitely go thicker. So normally, if you can use like a hybrid set, or we also have dedicated sets for D standard or C standard. I mentioned that in the show before. My favorite set for drop tunings is the NYXL 1156. Because 11, it's quite tough. But if you tune down to C, oh no, you meant drop C, not standard C, right?
Both.
So you tune a whole step down and then the low string.
Yeah, I can use both. Yeah, depends. But yeah.
Yeah. So maybe if it's the same scale length, then maybe a 10 to 52 would be better. Because then the high strings will not be as tight. That
Gotcha.
would be my recommendation. So you want to try, like, which set do you want? Because I can actually, we have the XS 1052. So if you want to like, or would you like to test the XS like in the same gauge that you're used to?
No, let's try it. I think that will be cool.
Which one, Valeria? The 1052?
Yeah, the 10-52. Let's try that one. I have 10-46, but it's basically the same thing. So.
Yeah. Just with a thicker bottom strings for if you want to drop it even more.
Yep, that would be great.
Awesome.
Cool. I'm going to give you the blasty horny thing. Hey Valeria, thank you so much for coming on. I know that it's super early where you are. Are you in Chile at the moment, right?
I am at the moment, yes.
Okay.
Soon we'll be traveling to that side of the world, so that's exciting.
Yeah, you'll be coming over to Germany to come and see some of us.
Yes.
Maybe you'll meet Dominikus in person. You never know. He's near Frankfurt also.
When you come by Frankfurt, let us know.
Yeah, come and pick up some strings in
I'll
person.
be landing in Frankfurt, actually.
Everyone's landing in Frankfurt.
I know that we know each other, Valeria, but please put your email address in the chat so it gets put into Dominikus's file, and then you get in the run to win a pedal board as well.
Yay, I shall do that right now. Thank you so much.
Do you got any more
Thank
questions?
No, that's good. Give some time to more people who may have more interesting questions than me.
Bless you. Okay, I will speak to you soon. Thank you ever so much for joining us. And go and change your strings,
Right.
Valeria.
Shall do that. Have a nice day.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Great. It's more like a hotline. I'm enjoying this. It's sort of, yeah, that's my new career in Hello Guitar Geek Hotline. We have Mike Guttelman, who's going to join us very quickly. I did say into the YouTube live chat that we would answer any text questions. So, Dominikus, are you up for some sort of kind of quick fire text questions from the live chat?
Sure, shoot it at me.
Okay, so Buzzle wants to know any suggestions for strings that don't break easily on a Kārla tremolo.
Yeah, with tremolo systems, I definitely would go for any string that uses our NY steel. That's the steel that has a better break strength. So all our like premium or more expensive string sets have them. So any string set like NYXL, XT, or XS, I would definitely recommend them to use on that. It depends if you like if you do a lot of like whammy bar stuff, then the strings get really under stress. So definitely go for something with like a good steel strength. Whatever, like, I mean, I mentioned like the different sets. NYXL is like an uncoated, like a little bit more brilliant sound string. XT feels like an uncoated set, but lasts longer. And XS is the full coated set that lasts the longest. So choose one of these in your gauge and you will be fine. I'm pretty sure.
Great. We've got Ike, who was on the show earlier. He is also shouting out that you should definitely do some coated baritone EX157s. So
yeah, I see a lot of demand right now.
Yeah, it's huge, absolutely huge. Both Ike and myself, the two most important people when it comes to making these decisions, of course. Let's do another one from the live chat. Jeremy Baker wants to know, does D'Addario make flat wound strings? And if so, is there a reason not to use them on a guitar with a Bigsby?
So first of all, yes, we make flat round strings, and they are used on guitars with Bigsbys. So there's no reason not to use them. It's actually kind of common to use them on like semi-acoustics. A lot of them have Bigsby tremolo systems. It's a hell to change them and put them on, I have to say. But that's just for Bigsby in general. Yeah. So definitely, like, you have to pre-bend like the ball ends and fit it. There are some. So my recommendation in this case for everyone who's using a Bigsby, like, take a little bend into the string, then pull it tight, use a capo to clamp the string on the neck so that's under tension so it can't get off, and then fit it in at the end, because otherwise you will be going crazy. Cool. Yeah, but back to flat rounds. Flat rounds are a great choice for everyone who's going to a more warmer sound. Basically what flat rounds are, it's a steel ribbon that gets wrapped around. So the surface is completely flat. That's why it's called flat round. And you have actually no real high frequencies in there. So they're most popular by jazz players. They are pretty popular on bass as well. And yes, we do them in different gauges. So obviously, because there are no windings, we don't do any coating on them. It's not really necessary. The coating is there to provide.
Do flat winds last longer, generally speaking?
It depends what you mean by lasting. So in terms of sound,
yeah, that's what I mean. So do they stay similar in tone for longer?
The purpose of flat rounds is to sound warm. So if it gets dull, basically that's the sound most people are going for. So in terms of the material itself, it's like a pure steel thing, so it will last longer than like a nickel-plated steel. but it's uncoated, so it will have some corrosion happening at some time, but you don't really get that effect, because normally if you use a regular string set, you will change the strings, or you will want to change the strings when it loses the high end, which probably is not the case if you lose flat rounds, because you go for that sound. So they can last quite long.
Cool. Thanks, mate.
Yeah.
Okay, we've got 2 guests left. I did say we would only have 1, but Matthew's joined us, and I want to make sure he gets on. We've run a little bit over, but I'm good to go. Are you good to go for 2 more guests, Dominikus?
Sure.
Okay, in that case, we will have Mike next. I'm just setting him to guest, and we'll bring him on. So, Mike, hi, welcome to World Changing Strings Day.
Hey, it's awesome to be here. I just kind of jumped in. I was like, I didn't think I'd get in. I'm excited about this. I guess it's my lucky day, I guess.
Yeah, welcome. It's your lucky World String Change Day.
Yeah, nice bit of energy on the show. Thank you for that.
I am in Louisville, Kentucky, USA. So it is like 7:30 a.m. in the morning, and I haven't been to bed yet. So that's how dedicated.
Whoa! Awesome.
All right. Well, I do have a question. I'm a huge Fender Jaguar Jazzmaster guy. That's basically all I play. And on the tremolo systems on those guitars, they have a habit with, not saying your brand, but some other brands that I've used on the high E string, the little E string, it like unraveling the winding, the winding around the ball, basically at the end of the string, and like just kind of unraveling and just basically. I've had this issue quite a bit, to the point where I now, like, when I put a new set of strings on these guitars, I will actually like solder the windings before the little ball joint or whatever to happening, keep that winding from unraveling. And it's just been kind of my workaround on it. Does 𝗬𝗪𝗪 have a string that will not need me to go through this solder process? Because I feel like it's a little too much work, right?
No, actually we do. And we do exactly, in a way, what you are doing. So on every string set from our premium lines, like the 𝗦𝗪𝗘 XT XS, we have something called fusion twist at the end. Because normally you have on a string, if you put it under tension, like the spot where it breaks most easily is exactly at where it's wound to the ball end. That's the weakest point. So we do some kind of soldering there as well.
Okay. So you do the work for me, basically. So
we do it. Yeah, it's our service.
Nice.
Yeah.
So I need to look for the XL. Is that what I'm looking for?
So it's either like the 𝗦𝗪𝗘s,
okay,
the XS, like the white ones, or like the XTs. These
are
our electric premium sets, and all these use the New York steel, which, first of all, the steel itself will hold better, so it's stronger. But then also they have like the soldering on the ball end side.
That's awesome. That's what I needed to hear, because maybe I need to obviously I need to switch to brand, because the brand I'm using, I'm having to solder. Like, I should,
yeah. No, you shouldn't have to do that work. So what gauge are you playing normally?
I generally do 11s on a Jazzmaster and 12s on a Jaguar. So yeah.
So we sent you a set to try. So what would you like to try out?
I play Jaguars more, so a set of 12s if you have them. But if not, I can go with 11s. But
and do you like a more regular traditional sound, or like a more modern open sound? Because
I'm not picky. I generally I guess, well, I play like shoegazy type. So you let me know what that means to you. But so yeah. Obviously, I'm playing Jaguars and Jazzmasters. You know what I do? It's all shoegaze, right? Like
that's true. So yeah, then I make the selection for you. Just put in your mail address, like in the guest chat.
Okay.
So you can figure out like your address then afterwards.
Okay, awesome. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. That really helps me, because I feel like I'm doing way too much work on these string changes. So definitely.
Yeah. But correct.
Awesome.
I hope this solves the problem then.
Well, I should probably get to bed. It's almost 8 in the
You
morning.
really
here,
should.
Right? You should. Well, cheers. And I'm drinking beer. So does that mean I'm an alcoholic? Maybe. I don't know.
Okay.
Right.
Before you go to bed, maybe in fact, go to bed first, and then when you wake up, then you can change your strings because it's technically still yesterday for you. So World String Change Day is tomorrow for you. That's allowed. So
that'll work. That'll work.
I hope Dominikus managed to answer your questions. It sounded like it did. Have a wonderful rest.
Thank you all.
Bye-bye. Wow. Cool.
Wow.
Okay, we have one more guest. We are going to be talking to Matthew. I just wanted to see if there's anything else in the chat just before we join Matthew. Let me just go that chat. I love the chat, by the way. I am watching this regularly, and I love the way that you guys are reacting with each other and generally taking care of each other and talking about geeky stuff as well. Let's just answer a question, if we may, Dominikus, from the chat. I hope I get this right. 𝗦𝗪𝗘𝗪𝗧𝗪𝗔𝗕𝗟𝗓 says, I have nickel allergy. Do you have strings that they can play that doesn't cost double? So a sort of combined question there. So I'm not sure what he means by double.
So let me put it this way. So we produce everything in one factory. So technically, there's the possibility that nickel particles, like our products contain nickel particles in really small cases. Of course, we have some models with nickel-plated steel. Of course, they have nickel on it in the alloy itself. But as we work with different materials in the factory, it's like officially, I would say it's like if you have like a chocolate bar and it says it can contain like small particles of nuts, for example. It's like that. From my experience, though, I would say in most cases that people say they are allergic to nickel, it's more like a sensitivity, not really like because people who are really allergic to nickel, they react to the smallest particles of nickel, and then I have to say probably don't play guitar. play there's no solution like being 100% sure, but for all like the nickel sensitive people, we had a lot of good experience with people using Pro Steels. So that's a 100% stainless steel wrap wire. It should be in the same price range like our regular XLs. So they don't contain any nickel in the alloy. Besides that, we actually had some cases where people play coated sets like our XS sets. And because of the coating and they don't have the direct contact with the nickel-plated steel itself, it works for them as well, given that the coating is intact, of course. Mm-hmm. But that's something you need to try out. So if you have a nickel sensitivity, it depends how strong it is. If it's quite strong, I would recommend stainless steel. So it's the Pro Steel series that we have. And if it's kind of just a little bit of sensitivity, you can even try like the regular XS sets.
They've just put in the chat that they get sores from playing nickel strings, so they've switched to cobalt. So maybe that answers your question there.
So if cobalt works for them, then Pro Steels will work definitely as well, because it's like the same. Cobalt strings, as far as I know, don't contain any nickel. So, right. Yeah. In terms of price, of course, maybe he meant like because coated strings are more expensive. They are around double the price. I always try to explain people that actually using coated strings is the cheapest version, because you save at least 4 or 5 sets, and you only pay double the price, and you save all the time that you need to change strings, all the time you need to wipe down your strings after playing. So in a way, our most expensive option is the cheapest option you can get.
Also, I think on the coated strings front, we touched on it earlier with some strings in the past, some coated strings in the past, having this kind of flaking and sort of getting all sort of woolly and fluffy. And I experienced that. I played coated strings when I was in covers bands, and I genuinely couldn't afford to change my strings every gig. So I bought coated strings, and that ended up being the most financially sound way of doing it. But this flakiness would get on my nerves. And now, then I fell in love with the XTs from you guys, and I really resisted the XSs for a long time. And I remember writing to you, Dominikus, and saying, "I'm sorry, dude, I'm not finding these XSs working for me. I'm sticking with the XTs." And now I'm finally converted to XS, and I agree with you. It is a much more financially sound idea to coat your strings, even though they're double the price. If they last you 4 or 5 times as long, that's some maths away from being a better investing of your cash. Okay, we have one. Sorry.
And you get more player circle codes points on that.
And you get more player circle points, exactly. Dominikus, I did just write to you on Facebook the email address for Steve, so you could put that in the list.
Perfect.
Sadly, I think Matt went to sleep before he put his email address in the chat, so we don't have Matt. So Matt, if you're still listening, please let me know that you're in there or you're still here, and we'll somehow get you into that thing. Did we decide if we're doing the draw today, like now, or we decide on doing it some other time? What's your thoughts on that?
We can, if you want to. Do you have like a specific process how we handle that?
No, that's why I was asking you. We didn't plan this far ahead.
Is there anyone waiting in line still, or? There
is, yeah. So should we talk to another Matthew now, and then we can maybe sort this out in a moment. But I have some ideas, if that helps, Dominikus. Sure. Right, Matthew, I'm about to bring you in with your string questions. Hi, Matthew.
Hello.
Hey, Matthew.
Hi, Jack, you okay?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Mate. Very well.
Where are you from?
You're not going to believe this, because my question was actually about nickel allergy as well. I have a nickel allergy.
Wow.
So you've kind of really answered a lot of the questions as it is. I found that, especially using barcodes, I get some real kind of problems with my index finger on the kind of the inside index finger, etc., etc. I was hoping you could advise me on some kind of string types for that, really. But you've kind of gone through a lot of those answers already. So would you recommend the cobalt type ones, do you think? Or what do you think?
We personally, as the Dario, we don't produce cobalt strings. That's from another brand.
Okay.
All right. But we have similar things. So we have what's called Pro Steels. It's 100% stainless steel. So we're talking electric guitar, right?
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
Sure. Because normally on acoustic guitar strings you don't have any nickel alloys anyway. You could try that. If you're sensitive.
I think my little this one over here. These Ibanez, I managed to get some of those on there, and they felt a little bit weird under the fingertips. Is that kind of normal?
Yeah, they have a little rougher surface, so that's the downside of using like a higher steel content string. You could also, it depends how sensitive you are with your nickel allergy. That's what I said.
Yeah.
Because for example, the NYXLs, they use some nickel, but not as much as like a regular nickel-plated steel set. So you could try these first and see if you react to them, because they feel better on the fingers, not as rough as pure stainless steel strings.
Do you do those in a hybrid set as well?
Yes, we do.
Oh, brilliant.
So hybrid, you play
all my questions.
You play 946 or you 1052?
1052 usually.
Okay, so if you want to, I can send you because, like, as the thank you for coming on, I can send you the NYXL to try if you say you want to try. Still knowing that there is some nickel content in there.
Yeah, for sure.
Or you can also try the XS, because they have the coating above the string that so you don't have direct contact with the surface as long as the coating is intact, of course.
Right.
So that would be the
there we
options. Would be your choice what you would like to try.
So we've got coated ones, or we've got the non-coated. Is that right?
Right.
Yeah. Let's try the XS ones, because I think I might have tried the other ones. Let's try the XS ones. Disappearing.
So
no, you're all good there, Matthew.
Cool.
What sort of music do you play? Like, what are you doing with
So
your guitar?
it kind of bluesy type music. I play mainly kind of covers and rhythm. Just starting to try and kind of get my head around some kind of lead work at the moment. So I quite like the kind of bluesy sound. But I say I'm quite new. I've been playing for 10 years, but as a serious hobby for 5. So you're always a learner, aren't you? So I'm just getting my head around, new bits of gear, new to, I've kind of self-taught myself from originally with the acoustic guitar, then going to, the electric and semi-hollows, etc. Just bought myself a new Harley Benton recently. And as you do when you get a new guitar, you just play it. And then a day later, fingers shredded with obviously with a nickel algae because of the strings that come with it. So I could do, as you've recommended before, Andy, putting new strings on a new guitar, and obviously moisturising the fret fingerboard a little bit. But I think I need a new set. So in fact, I was off my way out today to get some when I thought I'll just put the telly on a little bit. Saw this and I spent about 15-20 minutes trying to find how to get into chat because the phone wasn't working. Eventually managed to get through, and I thought, yes, this is it. And then my answer was question was answered before I got on. So we're here in the end, anyway.
We made it work.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for joining, Matthew. And if you see us in a further live chat, let us know how you get on with the coated strings. And I hope your nickel allergy gets either sorted or this helps you out in some way, so you can continue playing guitar for hours and hours and hours and days and weeks.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. Thank you.
Don't forget to put your email address into the chat so we can reach out to you.
Yeah, I think I just popped it in earlier on, but I will just make sure it's there, double check.
In the guest chat?
Not seeing it yet, so
no.
I would.
Okay.
As you're on a phone, I think you need to turn your phone to landscape mode, and then the chat will come up, and you should see it.
Right,
okay?
Got you. I'll sort it out now.
All right, you do that before we hang up, but I will go over to Dominikus now.
Okay.
Have a great one.
Super.
Wonderful. Okay, so Dominikus, the Dominator. I said I wasn't going to say that. Sorry. I think Matthew's just putting that in his little chat thing there at the moment. The way we could do this is, how many people do we have on today, including Matthew?
11.
11. Great. So, I don't have. Was it Mateus or Matt that we had on earlier? I don't have his email. So what you could do is, I don't know if we're going to get Matt's back. This really sucks, but there's not much control we have over it. Matthew has put his email address in now. You're welcome, Matthew. Thank you for doing that.
Thank you.
I'm going to hang up on you now, Matt. I'm sorry. There we go. Oh, he's hung up on himself. He was still there. Right. I'm going back to the live chat. We're about to do the draw. And Valeria quite rightly says we go to 11. What you could do, Dominikus, is please number those email addresses 1 to 11. I will bring up a random number generator that will generate a number from 1 to 11, and then that person is the winner of the pedal board. What do you think?
Let's do that.
Okay, so while you're doing that, I'm just going to random number generator. I'm going to find a random number generator. There we go. So I'm going to bring it up on screen, and Google has their own. Well, that's pretty snazzy, isn't it? Right. So that is the Dario website. We don't want that right now. let's do another one. Right, numbers, and it's going to be google.com. Before you continue, do you accept? Yeah, go on then. Right, random number generator. Here we go. Minimum is 1, maximum is 11. Everybody happy with that? Dominikus, you happy with that?
Yes, I already like
number 8.
customized. So it's not in the. So I made a different.
Okay, so it's not even in the order in which we took the calls, right? You've just
Exactly.
further randomized this. Okay, so I get to use my drum roll button again. Here we go. Number 7. Number 7
is Jordan.
Jordan. Wow.
Jordan.
Congratulations, Jordan. You have won yourself an Expand pedal board for all those wonderful pedals. And everybody else, of course, gets themselves the set of strings that Dominikus figured out for them. Dominikus, I think we did a good job today. How do you feel?
Yeah, pretty much. So we definitely need to think about that hotline thing. I'm already looking like it.
I've had fun. I've had a really good fun. We've had lots of people in the chat. Thank you to everyone that joined in, both on the show and in the chat. It was really nice to get back live. I haven't been live on the channel for quite a while. And Dominikus, I apologize for the technical issues we had at the beginning of the show. But I think we got there in the end, right? I think we're happy.
I think so.
Okay. So we will be in contact with all the people that were on the show. I think we've covered everything, right, mate? Anything else?
All right. Yeah. If you want, if anyone's... Yeah.
I do have something. Sorry. A question that has come up in the chat and also personally. You have the XS strings and the XT. What does the XS and the XT stand for?
That's a good question. We're actually... There's no real answer. But I have my personal answer.
Sorry.
No, XT actually, like my explanation is XT stands for extended. So you get extended lifetime out of that coding. And XS stands for excellence. So you get the excellence coding and excellence lifetime. So the most lifetime you will ever get out of any guitar string.
Right. Okay. For some reason, Mike Gutterman has just called back the show. I'm going to let him in because why not?
Why not? Oh, he forgot to put in his email address. That's the only one.
Mike. I was saying Matt earlier. I beg your pardon. It was Mike. Yeah. Hang on. Hi, Mike.
Still awake.
Mike, you're live. You forgot to put your email address in, I believe. I'm afraid we can't hear you. But never mind. You carry on doing that, and we'll figure out something for you to make sure that those strings get sent to you. Yeah, so XT and XS. I thought you were going to say like extra specially extended or something. That would have been fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it is World String Change Day. If you haven't changed your strings yet, make sure you do that. Dominikus, have you changed your strings yet?
No, but I just started my working day with this live chat, so I will do all the strings, all the guitars that we have in the office right now.
And I'm going to be modifying a Harley Benton today, so I saved the string changing especially for today, so I could change them. And I'm going to be putting on these 9-42 XS strings, and probably never change them ever again.
Make sure you make a picture or a little short clip and put it on your Instagram, Facebook, whatever, like with the hashtag World String Change Day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then what happens?
Then it all gets collected under this hashtag, and we can see all the posts at once.
Oh, wow.
So a lot of our artists will be posting today as well. So we're quite like in the world view. We're quite early on. So the US will probably wake up right now. Other than Mike, he's going to sleep now.
Mike's going to sleep now, yeah. And Mark, who was on the show, said that he changed his strings last weekend, so you'd have to change again. Winky face. Yeah, even if you changed them yesterday at 11:59, you got to change them again today. It's World String Change Day. Hey, Dominikus, thank you so much for coming on and sharing your expertise and recommendations. I know you've made a lot of people happy, and you've answered some genuine, interesting questions. And it got so nerdy and geeky. And yeah, you've changed the world today. Thank you.
Thank you for hosting the show. You've been like a great host as always.
Thank you. Do you want a horn to end?
Yes.
Beautiful. Okay, well, everybody, thank you for joining in the show. I will be live again at some point once I've figured out how the rest of these buttons work. And Dominikus is always available via email, which I will share with all of you. No, I won't. No, reach out to D'Addario, and thank you to D'Addario for sponsoring this stream. Go change your strings, feed your cats, and look after each other. I will see you in the soon. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.